What is up, best ones worldwide? It's the best one, DBTV here, back with another Brooklyn Nets video. If you're not a best one yet already, and you're a part of Nets Nation like myself, recommend you to hit that subscribe button now, turn on the post notifications, because we've been posting videos consistently once again, because of course you already know, the grind is real. And today, I want to give you guys my thoughts on if the Brooklyn Nets should trade for Tyler Herro. But before we get into that, I just want to say I appreciate each and every one of you guys, your support. This past, couple weeks coming back to making basketball content has been incredible, and I've been having a great time covering Brooklyn Nets stuff this offseason. I feel like we got something going right now, and we're going to continue this momentum. But with that being said, let's get into it.
Get ready for the comeback.
So the biggest storyline right now in this NBA offseason is, where is Damian Lillard going to play next? And we saw in a recent podcast not that long ago before the NBA draft that he mentioned the Brooklyn Nets and the Miami Heat as two teams that he would potentially be interested in if he decides to leave the Portland Trail Blazers. And there was a lot of questions going into the draft whether or not the Portland Trail Blazers were going to trade that number 3 pick and build a contender around Damian Lillard. But instead, the Trail Blazers decided to draft Scoot Henderson with the 3rd pick. And there was, some, reports out there that Scoot, wants to play with Damian Lillard and they want to make it work. But earlier this week, Damian Lillard requested a trade, wanting out of Portland and go to a new team. And his preferred destination is the Miami Heat, which, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I'm not surprised by that. I think that, if there's a legitimate chance for him to win himself a championship, something he hasn't been able to do for the Rip City, I think the Miami Heat would be the perfect destination for him. But there is a lot of things going around, and there is also other teams that are interested in acquiring Damian Lillard, like the San Antonio Spurs, who he has the utmost respect for, the Philadelphia 76ers, who are willing to move on from Tyrese Maxey depending on the right move, and last but not least, the Utah Jazz, who want to pair Damian Lillard up with Lauri Markkanen, which I feel like these are some weird teams that would be interested in him. Also, the Boston Celtics, their name has been coming around because they're trying to compete for a championship just like the Miami Heat, and they're only a few steps, getting there. But I think realistically, Damian Lillard is going to end up in the Miami Heat if Pat Riley does not decide to be stubborn. Because that's one thing about Pat Riley ever since, being in charge of basketball operations for the Miami Heat, he has struggled to trade some of those assets that he's had throughout the years. One of Pat Riley's biggest things that he does is drafting underrated gems and making big free agency signings. And that has been his recipe for success for years, going all the way back to 2005, 2006, when they decided to sign Shaquille O'Neal, pair him up with a prime Dwayne Wade to go win themselves a championship. Obviously, the biggest one, I'm taking my talents to South Beach. LeBron James joining the Miami Heat, and Chris Bosh also joining them, forming a big three over in Miami. And, of course, their latest big free agency signing, Jimmy Butler, which a lot of people weren't expecting him to make a big impact with the Heat, but he has went on to becoming one of the best Heat players to wear a Miami jersey. And that's been their recipe for success, and also undrafted players. They do a really good job at developing younger players to reach their full potential before other teams get the opportunity to do that. And one con for Pat Riley is moving on from certain talent. And before the whole Damian Lillard, blockbuster trade, rumors speculating, the Miami Heat had no intentions of trading Tyler Herro. They wanted to keep him, Jimmy Butler, and Bam Adebayo, and continue with that team, because some even think that if Tyler Herro was healthy and didn't have that broken hand going into the NBA Finals, the Heat would have had a chance to beat the Nuggets in the Finals, which, my opinion about that, I do disagree with that. I think that the Nuggets are just the best team in the league right now. They have a solid foundation. They have the perfect, give-and-go combo with Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic. And they just have a great, culture over in, Denver. And I think, with Tyler Herro, I think the Heat, they do need to move on from him. I think, realistically, that's the only way they're going to be able to get this, trade done with the Trailblazers. But the problem is that the Trailblazers do not want Tyler Herro's contract, because Tyler Herro is under contract until the 2026-2027 season. Last offseason, he signed a 4-year, $120 million contract with the Heat, doing the contract extension, and the Portland Trailblazers do not want that money on the books, and I feel like they don't want him on the books because they just signed Jeremy Grant to a fat contract, and they're in a rebuild mode, so why would they want to take on that contract? And the team that has been speculated to be interested in Tyler Herro is the Brooklyn Nets. And I think that this is a very interesting move. I think that, there are, some pros, there are some cons to getting Tyler Herro on the team. And I think one of the pros is definitely his age. He, is a solid 20-point-per-game scorer and very lethal on the offensive side of the game, but does struggle a little bit on the defensive end. And another thing about Tyler Herro that is a con is that contract. 4 years, $120 million. The Brooklyn Nets don't want to just have Tyler Herro. They want, some draft picks in return for this or another asset involved. And it seems like the Miami Heat, they're struggling right now to make this 3-team deal happen. And Pat Riley just has to make it happen. You have to take chances in the league. That is how you win NBA championships. And the reason why the Heat haven't won a title since 2013, I think, is because they've been, scared to make big moves. But I definitely think that, Tyler Herro to the Brooklyn Nets would be a fantastic move. He would be a solid 2. Another solid piece to build around Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson. He's around the same age as them, and he would be under contract with us until 2027, which is plenty of time. And Tyler Herro, I think, could definitely fit perfect with the Brooklyn culture, the Brooklyn grit. It's very similar to Miami. We have, the same type of, foundation with them, except we don't have that, go-to guy like Jimmy Butler. And I just think that Tyler Herro would be a great fit for this team. We definitely need that scoring. I think, him and Mikal would be a freaking deadly duo. And this could really help the Brooklyn Nets potentially get the 6th or maybe even the 5th seed in the Eastern Conference. I think that if we get Tyler Herro without giving up too much, I think that this could definitely be a very solid move. And honestly, I would love to see a backcourt with Ben Simmons and Tyler Herro.
What?
I think that this could really work out for this entire Brooklyn Nets team. They've been struggling to find a way to put Ben Simmons into the rotation, and we all know Ben Simmons' contract is very fat, and it's a bad contract right now. So the best thing the Brooklyn Nets can do is keep him under the books and see what works and what doesn't work. And it seems like going into this next season, Ben Simmons is looking a lot healthier and ready to go. And honestly, I think, having Ben at the 1 and then having Tyler Herro at the 2, that is a great duo right there. Ben Simmons is a great, playmaker. He's great in the paint when he's healthy. And he can definitely give that ball out to Mikal, Cam, and Herro, who are very good, consistent three-point shooters. And even with, some of the defensive players that we do have on this team, which I think is going to be one of our cons going into this season, I think that Tyler Herro would be a great fit with this Brooklyn Nets team. And honestly, if I'm the Brooklyn Nets, I am definitely trying to make this work, because we're already out of the Damian Lillard sweepstakes. I don't think we're getting him, and I think we shouldn't get him, because I still think that Dame and Mikal is not enough to come out of the Eastern Conference, let alone beat the Denver Nuggets in the finals. So it's definitely going to be very interesting to see what happens within the next few days or so. I really do hope that, the Brooklyn Nets, we are a part of this 3-team deal somehow, some way, because there's even, some rumors going around that the 3-team deal could happen where Damian Lillard goes to the 76ers and the Brooklyn Nets somehow could get Tyrese Maxey, which I think he would be a fantastic piece for this team. He cooked us in the playoffs last season, and honestly, I would love to see Maxey and Bridges together. So I think the Brooklyn Nets are in a very interesting situation as a 3rd team that's in a deal, and most of the time, going back into the history of the NBA, the 3rd team usually isn't the loudest noise. Doesn't make the loudest noise. A lot of people are just like, whatever. But most of the time, the 3rd team that are in these blockbuster deals get the best assets in return, and it works out better for that team. And I think that the Brooklyn Nets should definitely consider their options, and I wouldn't complain if the Brooklyn Nets did make this move and got Tyler Herro. And the man has heart, and that's exactly what we need in Brooklyn. He went out into the NBA Finals, the biggest stage of them all, playing with a broken fucking hand, and still shot that 3. His last play with the Heat. And that right there, that's hard, because Herro was not 100% cleared for that game, but he went out there and he tried his best to, get Miami that momentum that they needed, but it was just a little too late. So honestly, I would not complain if we acquired Herro. But to Nets world, let me know in the comment section below, do you think we should acquire Tyler Herro? Do you think he would be a good piece in this rebuild that, we're building right now in Brooklyn? If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to smash that like button now. If you're not a best one yet already, and you're a Nets fan like myself, subscribe, turn on the post notifications. The link's down in the description below. You can go follow me on my social medias and other YouTube pages, all that down below. And of course, to all the best ones out there worldwide, we are taking over. Peace.
I hope you're ready for the comeback. Steve Nash, I'm about to bring the sun back.